Man, that's unreal. What a bunch of fucking dick holes.
What? That's fucking incredible. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Tether Radio Podcast, the only podcast keeping you from spiraling out into the infinite abyss. I'm your host, Daniel, and I'm joined, as always, by Ali.
What up?
What up, dude?
Living the dream.
Living the dream one day at a time. We also have a special guest on today's show. We decided to push recording back a little bit so the little nugget would be in bed, and my wife Megan, Megan, could join us on the podcast. So, Megan, you want to say hello?
Hello.
So, yeah. So, how are your guys' weeks? Whoever wants to go first.
Mine was good.
Yeah.
I finished a book finally. I hadn't finished a book in a while.
Yeah, Allie was telling me that she was falling prey to the snooze demon while reading.
Yeah. No, I finished that Nothing to See Here about the twins that catch on fire when they're upset and the lady that like nannies for them.
Oh, that's crazy.
The guy wrote it in 10 days and I'm like, how? It's great. It's really well written.
I don't think I could put together like a pamphlet in 10 days.
And it's short, but it's like 250 pages, so like it's not that short.
Yeah.
I was about to say, that's not very short.
Yeah.
It looks short. Like someone at the bar the other night was like, what was that, like 100 pages? And I was like, listen, no.
Yeah.
No, it was really good though.
That's awesome. And what's it called?
It's called Nothing to See Here.
Nothing to See.
There's a kid on the cover that's like on fire.
Yeah.
Really good cover.
Intense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really good book though.
Yeah. Rock and roll. Miri,
It was pretty good. It's first full week back to work after the holidays, so that was a little tough.
Yeah.
Plus, I decided to start trying to work out at 5:30 Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays.
Oh,
So I'm a little tired.
good for you
Especially
though.
since Finn woke up but early today.
Yeah.
I don't know what his deal is.
Yeah. I don't know.
He thought it was time to work out.
Yeah. No shit, dude. My God, he's always working out. Oh my God. Not that this makes for good radio, but remind us to show you how he does push-ups.
Oh God.
It
Okay.
is incredible.
It's not school appropriate.
No, by any stretch. But, well, rock and roll. How do we want to... Actually, I know how I would like to start this thing.
Yeah?
Start this thing. So I told Allie a little bit, like, pretty much last minute, I wanted to talk about some pet peeves.
Wait, you want to have a bitch session and you thought I wouldn't come prepared?
Oh my God. We've been doing the podcast together way too long. She knows me way too well. Yeah, so I was just thinking about it and I was like, God, this really fucking annoys me.
You know what really grinds my gears?
Exactly. And I was like, well, this does. And now this does too. And I was like, all right, I'm just going to make a list and fucking talk about it and get your take on it.
Yeah, man.
So without further ado,
This is like an extended cancel corner.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So, and please, I would absolutely love if I'm just being neurotic or that you think this is a legit complaint. So I hate when I go to the grocery store and people pull straight through spaces to get to like the other space kind of thing instead of using I don't know why, because there's a reason for like how the traffic works in parking lots, and cutting through spaces just fucking like drives me insane. I don't know why. But, so obviously neurotic.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
One on the neurotic list.
But it's not just the grocery store.
Yeah, that's
anywhere.
It's parking lots. It's parking lots. But sticking at the grocery store, people that leave their fucking cart in the center of the aisle to like browse items and shit. I'm just like, dude.
Yeah.
The fuck?
Or like, people that are on the phone with whoever and they're reading them all the salad dressings. Dude, you know what salad dressing you like. There are 4,000 salad dressings in this aisle. Please do not stand here and read all of them to Brad.
Yeah. Well, no,
like,
and that's the other thing. Like, and maybe I just fucking hate going to the grocery.
I think that's it.
I think we're really getting to the bottom of my complaints. But like, I don't understand. Like, do people go to the grocery store and like not know what they're gonna get, kind of thing? Is that a common?
I mean, sometimes I'll say like, I want some fruit, and then I'll pick fruit when I'm there. But I don't just go like blindly into the whole store.
And honestly, produce actually kind of makes sense because if it looks good, you might get it. If it
or
doesn't
like
look
maybe
good
if you want to get some soup for lunches and you can't pick which one, so you think a little bit. But like when it is Saturday at 2 p.m. and everyone is at the grocery store, pick a little quicker and move the fuck along.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like, okay, like picking up like flour tortilla shells or something. It's like, you either fucking want flour tortilla shells or you don't want fucking flour tortilla shells. If El Paso versus whatever other brands, all that shit, I'm just like, dude, fucking move along. Like, anyway.
Yeah.
So let's see. What was it? Not using turn signals really fucking irritates me. So
I all the time am like, oh yeah, good turn signal, buddy. Like,
exactly.
I'm gonna get shot one day.
Oh, dude, I know. I'm definitely the same. And Miri, I'm looking at you for this next one.
Uh-oh.
Squeezing toothpaste from the bottom of the tube.
Oh, Jesse does that. You guys are alike in so many ways. Like,
Daniel
I
squeezes it from the bottom, and I don't.
And Megan just like fucking like gorilla hands the center of the tube.
No, that's what I meant. Was doing it the wrong way. You and Jesse are on the same page about.
Okay, sorry.
No, I bought these things off of like Amazon. I'm sure that are like little like tube scooter downer things. Game changer. Those things are great because when he squeezes from the middle of the tube like a heathen, I can just scoot the thing down and we're back to how we should be.
But yeah, anyway, I just wanted to go through a couple of those. But Allie, do you have a couple to
I've got one that kind of goes with your grocery store thing because I see it there a lot. Speakerphone in public.
Yes.
Die in a fire.
Yes.
Like, what are you doing?
I don't know if I've ever been in a conversation. It's not that I'm like wanting to be really private about my conversation or anything.
But I don't want everyone hearing my stuff.
Yeah, and plus it's called consideration.
Yeah,
like,
it's just you're having a yelling conversation in the middle of Target. Yeah. Like, God.
Yes, I'm definitely on board with that.
Okay, kind of on that level, but not a pet peeve, but just a little side thing. My buddy that lives in Colorado, he travels a ton for work, and he was in some podunk town the other day. There was nothing to eat other than Chili's. So he was already like, God, I don't want Chili's, but fine. Yeah. So he goes and he sits at the bar and there's this older dude beside him and he's doing talk to text. And like, as soon as my friend sits down, the old man like holds his phone right up to his mouth and says, clear as day, man, that's unreal. What a bunch of fucking dick holes.
What? That's fucking incredible. Fucking dick holes. That's amazing.
Amazing.
Oh my god.
I've got a couple others.
Sure.
I hate the concept of guilty pleasures. Just like what you like. Quit feeling guilty about it.
Yeah.
Like, if you like to watch The Bachelor and you know it's not cinematically fantastic, just embrace it, man. Just watch The Bachelor and have a good time judging the shit out of people.
Well, dude, and I mean, it's called entertainment for a reason. It doesn't have to be fucking like...
Everything doesn't have to be a masterpiece.
Intellectually stimulating and shit, so...
And then, I think I've gone off about this before, probably, because I hate it. But when people just default to describing women as sweet or nice...
Oh.
I am not sweet. And like when I hear someone, they're like, no, you're sweet. And I'm like, I'm not sweet. Like, and that's fine. Everybody's not sweet. But just to say like, just like a generic like descriptor of a woman. Oh yeah, she's sweet. Like, no, give me anything else about this woman.
I feel like sweet and like fine are like, you know what I'm saying? Well, she's fine.
Yeah, she's fine.
You know,
she's
fine.
okay.
She's okay.
She's mediocre at best. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Do you have any more you wanted to mention?
I think that's really all I had for right now. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that grinds my gears.
Yeah, no, honestly, I had to like kind of pull the rip cord or whatever, because I was like going down a dark hole. But Mary, do you have any that come to mind?
Well, I was sitting here trying to think of some because I figured you would ask me. So, one thing I don't like is when people say we when it's really just one person did all the work.
Oh, yeah.
That gets under my skin a lot.
Oh, yeah.
But I know it's hard not to do that because sometimes I even do that to Daniel. But I do correct myself because then I'm like, I mean Daniel, not me or we.
You're like, we made really good chili, and you're like, I didn't do any of that. Daniel made the chili.
Let's see what else. Well, since I'm Korean, obviously, I always get, where are you from? Or do you speak Chinese, Japanese? Then finally I get asked about Korean. So that's annoying. I guess that would be a pet peeve.
Yeah.
That seems like a weird, like, you would never ask a black person where they're from. Like, that's weird.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
That's about it.
No, there was, I don't know if I was with you or maybe you, like, told me about it or something, but, like, somebody went up to you and they were like, so where are you from? And you're like, Tennessee or something like that. And they're like, no, like where are you from? Like,
and I'm like,
what the fuck?
Cool.
My mama?
Because I always know what people mean by that, but I'm like, I'm just going to be a dick to you. Good. You're asking me where am I from. So I'm just going to be like, Tennessee.
I've heard that's a really good way to treat people when somebody makes like a racist or a sexist joke or something or a homophobic joke, just to act like you really don't get it. And you'd be like, I don't get it. Like, what do you mean? Like, what? But why is that funny?
Yeah, my mom and I went to...
That's awesome.
Oh, yeah. It really brings somebody down.
Yeah.
My mom and I went to the grocery store, and this other lady was walking through the aisle with her daughter, obviously.
Yeah.
And she obviously adopted, too. And she came up to me, and my mom was like, this is going to sound really weird. It's really going to embarrass my daughter, but are you guys together? Are you related? I was like, yes, this is my mom. Oh, this just makes me feel like this is how we're going to look when I'm older. And I'm like, all right, cool.
Okay.
Like, we don't need to talk about it.
That's just,
I was like, I feel really bad for your daughter because she's a lot younger, but, like, I can handle it.
Yeah.
It's so awkward.
Yeah, it's just supremely awkward. Like, and what, like, I understand thinking that, like, whatever, like, oh, I wonder if they're, you know, if that's her mom or whatever. I get that, but, like, actually going over and, like, fucking asking, I'm like, ugh,
So there's just some advice for your listeners. Just don't do that to people.
yeah, exactly. All right, well, rock and roll. I was trying to think of where we want to go from here. I've got a really quick one that I can, this one was pretty funny. So I pulled this one from, it's from a Lexington, NBC affiliate, Lex 18. But anyway, so it's called, the article was, Florida police were called for a woman screaming, quote, "Let me out." It was a parrot.
Oh no!
So this neighbor of this guy in I guess it's Palm Beach County, Florida. He the neighbor called the police and was like, "Hey, there's like a woman screaming next door. Let me out, let me out." And I think you might need to go check on it, kind of thing. So
good on them for calling
that.
it.
Yeah, that really is awesome. So the guy was, the owner, or I'm sorry, the deputies, showed up and, let the owner know that, that the police were called because somebody heard a woman screaming, "Let me out," or asking for help and to be let out. The owner then introduced Rambo to the officers.
Rambo!
The fucking parent's name is Rambo. He was quoted as saying, "I was changing the brakes on my wife's car and had my 40-year-old parrot Rambo on his outside perch where he sings and talks." Sometime later, 4 police officers showed up saying a neighbor called because she heard a woman screaming for help. I promptly introduced the officers to Rambo and we all had a good laugh.
Oh, that's fun.
Oh, dude, yeah. So apparently, what happened was like when the dude, since that dude, 40-year-old fucking parrot.
Parrots live a long time.
How long?
Like, I think like 40, 50 years, maybe longer. I want to think somebody at work was talking about their like mother-in-law has a bird and it will live to be like 70. So like you have to put that in your will. See, and they're like, I hate this fucking bird. I don't want it.
I feel like I would, that would be difficult to make a decision that you'd have to like, other than like marriage or something that it's like, you're going to have to live with this for decades kind of thing, you know? But anyway, so when the dude was a little kid, he apparently taught the bird to say, help, let me out when it lived in a cage. And so it just like kept
I was about
doing
to say, how did it even learn to say, let me out?
Yeah, really. Yeah, I know.
That's creepy.
He was like, that's so funny. It was just my parrot, but it was mimicking my wife that I keep locked in the basement.
Oh my God.
But, so I just wanted to mention that one for some uplifting news.
That's really fun.
Off the bat. But anyway, what do you got?
Man.
Allie?
Okay, so when we were not recording a couple weeks ago, I told you guys about Gwyneth Paltrow and the vagina egg.
Yes.
This bitch is obsessed with Snatch.
So real quick, just for listeners, why don't you do like
real quick
I
think
recap.
a lot of people know about that.
Okay.
I think maybe. Gwyneth Paltrow has this company called Goop, and they have this whole shop online. And one of the things they sold was an egg that you put up in your business. And she had all these claims that, like, it could help you with, like, bladder control and, like, all kinds of stuff. And she got sued because it doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
And she, like, had to pay something like $150 million or something, which is to her a drop in the bucket.
Yeah,
but so she still sells them, but there's like no claims. Yeah. Like there's no info on it. But
gotcha.
I was like, man, if I had a ton of just disposable money, I would buy these for a handful of people. I'd be like, come on, try them out.
That would be awesome.
So anyway,
I know what Megan's getting for Christmas next year. No, just kidding.
And then I'm like, I wonder if other brands sell like cheaper ones, because that one's probably just like $55 because it's Goop branded.
Yeah.
And like, no one's gonna know that it's Goop branded. Hopefully no one's gonna know you have it up in you, I guess.
Yeah,
but ugh.
Jesus.
So Gwyneth Paltrow made the news this week because she is selling a candle that smells like her vagina.
What?
That's it. That's the headline. I didn't paraphrase that. That is the headline.
But I'm trying to wrap my mind around like the target market group that
right? My friend sent me this and I was like, no. What? No. Wait. And then like 30 seconds later I was like, okay, I kind of want to smell it just out of curiosity though, and I'm mad.
Wait, the candle or what? No, I'm just kidding.
So, yeah. Oh, also, the egg, somebody was telling me the other day it's supposed to exfoliate.
Ew.
What?
You don't need to exfoliate in there. What are you talking about?
What the fuck?
Jesus. Okay.
Okay, I am on the website trying to find this, though.
Yeah.
Is it under wellness?
I don't know.
There's some bizarre things under the wellness
If you Google the very obvious wording of it, it'll come right up. I did it in incognito so I wouldn't get super weird ads.
Is it just Goop Snatch Egg?
Well, no, so I'm looking at the wellness section. Yeah. And I took a screenshot of this to send you all. Yes. But it's got like two pictures side by side because that's how it fits on my phone. Right.
Yeah.
So there's this one thing that's like these pills and they're labeled balls in the air. And then right next to it,
balls aren't supposed to be in the air.
And the little tagline for it is, I'm working really hard at an intense pace and don't have time to slow down.
Wait, is she just selling amphetamines?
I don't know.
Yeah, right.
And then right next to it is a Vesper vibrator necklace.
I'm sorry?
Yeah.
Is that just
what is it? And it's $150.
You just wear your sex toy on your necklace, and then when you want it, there it is?
I don't know.
Huh. I've got a lot of questions. I need to explore that store a lot. Yeah. So this candle, it is $75 US for a 10.5 ounce candle, and the name of the scent is "This Smells Like My Vagina."
No.
Yep.
I'm trying to find it.
It was sold out when I looked last
nose.
night. I don't know if
It was sold
I
out?
don't know if that's just the default, like they don't have it in stock yet, so it's marked as sold out. I don't know,
gotcha.
but it said it was sold out last night. But
Jesus,
I just did, while I was looking this last night, I did a little reality check on the pricing.
Yeah.
I really like this brand of candles that I get at TJ Maxx. The brand's DW. It's like something, it stands for something, whatever.
Yeah.
Full price for those dudes, an 8.5 ounce of theirs is $12, and they're like $6 at TJ Maxx.
Yeah.
This motherfucker is $75.
I mean, dude, that is...
It has
I
a
don't even
description
understand.
of the smell. It has notes of geranium, citrusy bergamot, and cedar absolutes, juxtaposed with damask? I never know how to say that. Damask rose and ambrette seed to put us in the mind of fantasy, seduction, and a sophisticated warmth. Look, there's warmth in there.
What?
I'll let you have that. But otherwise...
that's because it's a candle. You have to light it. But
I've been in your business.
Yeah, oh God, yeah.
But vaginas are not supposed to smell like these things.
Well, no, that's what I'm like, wait a second.
They're
What?
not supposed to naturally. You're not supposed to put
Like,
scented stuff.
Gwyneth Paltrow, if you hear us covering this, go get yourself checked out because a vagina is not supposed to smell like that.
Like, she sucks so much. This is another one of those things that makes, like, younger women who are insecure be like, I should smell like citrus fruit or a boy won't want to be around me. It's like, no, motherfucker. If you smell like a citrus fruit, go see your gyno. Something is
there's
wrong.
an issue. Like, what the fuck? Oh my God.
I just don't understand anything about this bitch.
No, it's like, dude, she's off her fucking rocker.
If they
this
sold
goop
this in
company.
stores, I would so go smell it just
Oh,
to
yeah,
say,
of course.
I know what Gwyneth Paltrow thinks her vagina smells like.
Yeah. Oh my God. Wait, Gwyneth Paltrow, was she the one that was
Wasn't she married to Chris Martin?
You know who Gwyneth Paltrow is? She's in all the Avenger movies.
No, I know who Gwyneth Paltrow is. I was trying to come up with
wasn't she married to dude from Coldplay, right?
Oh, I have no.
Wasn't she? And they had a kid, and they named the kid Apple.
She does have a kid named Apple.
I think that was them.
So, but she's
Chris
still
Martin.
married?
It was Chris Martin. They got divorced in 2016.
So I want to say that she was like, I heard her on some kind of talk show talking about, like it was a new term for being single.
Yes, they
Right?
they called
Was that her though?
Yeah, that was
Okay.
her and Chris Martin. They they had like a pleasant separation, or however they worded it. It was some garbage. What was it?
But like she was like, I'm like happily involved with myself or something. Like I can't remember exactly, but it was like trying to make like being single sound better, I guess.
Yeah.
Which, not that being single is bad. It's just I don't understand why do we have to complicate things?
A conscious uncoupling.
Oh God. It's getting deep, man.
The ability to understand that every irritation and argument within a marriage was a signal to look inside ourselves and identify a negative internal object that needed healing.
Dude.
You know what that negative internal object is? Is that egg in your snatch. Take it out.
It's starting to mess with your brain, Gwyneth. Oh my God, that is insane, man. Absolutely.
So you're welcome.
Well, I actually have something that we can transition to. Speaking of
that's worrisome.
vaginas. No, this is pretty wholesome too.
Okay, good.
So this was from the New Zealand Herald. Model raises more than $750,000 for Aussie bushfire relief by sending nudes to donors.
Yes.
Pretty fucking awesome, to be honest. So this Instagram model, Kaylin Ward, decided to basically say, hey, donate $10 or more and then send me either like a receipt or whatever, DM me, and I will send you a nude picture of myself, kind of thing. Dude, she raised $750,000.
It was up to $1 million the other day, last I heard, yeah.
Oh, no shit.
I think it was a little over $1 million.
So her post received more than 123,000 likes, 56,000 retweets, and thousands of comments.
Yeah.
There's something else that I wanted to mention in regards to this. So her Instagram account got deleted because they said that she violated community guidelines, which doesn't surprise me and probably needed to occur because Instagram's not really a porn website. So, but she was quoted as saying, "My IG got deleted. My family disowned me, and the guy I like won't talk to me, all because of that tweet. But fuck it, save the koalas." Guys, I'm crying. This is fucking crazy. Aww. So pretty cool. And, I don't know. I just, I thought that was a wholesome mention kind of thing. And, they were saying that, one person was quoted as saying, Ward was, quote, literally doing more for Australia than their own prime minister. And I was like, rock and roll, man.
Oh, man.
And another one was quoted as saying, not all heroes wear capes. Some wear nothing at all. So I thought that was pretty cool.
That's good.
Good mention.
I like it.
But moving on from naked philanthropic people... where are we gonna go?
I've got some positive news.
All right.
Otherwise it's not related, but there were 0 bikers or pedestrians killed by cars in Oslo, Norway last year. 0.
I don't see how that's even possible, right?
Well, a lot of US cities are trying to have less or ultimately get to 0 pedestrian and cyclist deaths, but they're actually, like, those numbers are increasing because you can't just hope for things and think they'll change. Hashtag gun control.
Yeah.
So they're calling this whole concept Vision Zero. Norway as a country has more political support for ending accidents that can be avoided through better infrastructure design, more traffic enforcement, and other changes in their policies. There was a rep from a traffic safety organization in Norway that said the most important factor might be that road safety has been a priority for many years and has given us a reduction of road deaths. They had 560 people yearly in the 70s, down to 110 deaths in 2019. And that's road deaths, so that's like car crashes, not bikers and pedestrians. But so in the city of Oslo, they've cut speed limits, they've implemented new zones where cars are no longer allowed to pick up and drop off kids outside of schools.
These seem like changes that
they're pretty obvious changes.
Yeah, right?
They're improving public transit and local bike share programs so fewer people even want to drive. And then in their city center, they took out hundreds of parking spaces, they added bike lanes, and they decided to make some streets completely off limits to cars. So there's basically no traffic in those areas. So there's no deaths because there's no cars.
Yeah.
And they really started doing all this for the environment to cut pollution and emissions, and then it also had all these positive effects on their accident numbers. But this whole thing was basically just saying, like, hopefully the U.S. government will see, hey, look, these changes produce these results. We can do this too.
Yeah.
So, like...
I mean, and it doesn't really seem... it doesn't seem like it would be like earth-shattering changes.
Yeah,
kind of thing,
I mean, it's gonna change your day-to-day if you can't park on your normal street downtown, but for most people, what bad is it gonna do to hoof it a couple blocks, you know? So,
yeah, for sure.
I think it'd be cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't believe that it was that effective.
Yeah.
Like, holy hell.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Like, I think that had gone down in years, but, like, 0 is crazy. Yeah. And they said the city of Oslo is nothing compared to, like, New York or anything, but, like, it's about the same as Portland, Oregon, so that's still pretty big.
Yeah,
you
for
know?
sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Pretty cool.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. I don't really have a good transition into this, but my brother actually sent me this article about medications, and obviously medications are near and dear to my heart, considering I'm a pharmacist. So, but this is some pretty fucking gnarly stuff. I do want to preface covering this with a lot of this shit is case study based.
Sure.
So it's not like it's more
proven.
correlation than causation kind of thing. But it was some pretty gnarly information. So the article was called "The Medications That Change Who We Are." one of the big things that they were talking about is the use of statins in the United States. And like a running joke in the medical community is basically statins are really benign, and basically we should probably just end up putting them in the fucking water kind of thing.
Oh boy.
I mean, obviously jokes.
Sure.
But please, for God's sake, don't start putting fucking medications in our water. But the weird thing is the mental effects that some of these drugs can have on people.
Yeah.
Real quick anecdote, because this kind of rang a bell to me, and I started thinking about it, and I was thinking about my dad getting put on it was like a combo medication for like blood pressure and cholesterol. And he literally said that he started feeling like he was going crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
And he just stopped taking it kind of thing and got switched to some other stuff. Yeah. And like, I think actually this was what kind of spurred him like losing a bunch of weight originally kind of thing.
Well, and so many people aren't gonna think this is caused by this medicine. Yeah. They're just gonna think I'm having a bad day, week, month, year. Yeah. Whoops, I killed someone.
Well, and no, and that's the pretty crazy shit about it is a lot of the times with statins, they'll like you'll get consultation or you will get consulted on it, and they'll say, hey, you know, if you have like aches in your muscles and stuff like that, like physiological issues kind of thing, but they won't mention any kind of a mental, know, hey, you know, if so normally with like antidepressant stuff, you'll you know they have studies that it's like, oh, you could have suicidal tendencies. If that occurs, fucking stop taking it and contact your doctor.
Right.
But they don't do that with statins kind of stuff. So This article was talking about how and there's a couple different cases within this article, but they were talking about how this guy signed up for a statin study kind of thing, and after he started the treatment, his wife began to notice a sinister transformation. A previously reasonable man, he became explosively angry and out of nowhere developed a tendency for road rage. During one memorable episode, he warned his family to keep away lest he put them in the hospital.
Jeez. Dang.
So like, this dude just like went absolute like ape shit.
Yeah.
Now the crazy thing is they go on into this article about how this is not like an isolated case kind of thing. Like multiple people have suffered from stuff like this.
Yeah.
And so they started looking into like, is it the drug? Is it, you know, what is it? What that's really causing this? And they said that in some studies that they had done on just mammals in general, when they reduced a mammal's cholesterol by like certain amounts, it automatically made the animal more aggressive.
Jeez.
Which is fucking kind of weird to me.
Yeah.
And I don't really know like what the takeaway is kind of from that, but like it's just one of these things that, and I always say this, just remember anything you put in your body is going to change how your body is functioning. Like whether it's literally water, like is going to change how your body is functioning because you're either going to be hydrated or dehydrated or whatever kind of thing. So just always be cognizant of that. Anybody that takes any medications and stuff, you could 100% be the exception, and that 0.1% that is affected, like, you know, terribly or whatever. Another example in this was this French father of two sued GlaxoSmithKline, which is a huge pharmaceutical company, because he was taking a drug for Parkinson's disease, and he claimed that it turned him into a gambler and gay sex addict.
No.
And was responsible for risky behaviors that led to him being raped.
Huh? Got a lot to unpack here.
I was like, what? Like,
I'm gonna go ahead and save that link to read later.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, so I mean, like, which, you know, and it doesn't say that, it doesn't say how the actual, like, trial, like, you know, what came of the trial, but, like, I know that there are medications that, like, literally lower your inhibitions, like, similarly to, like, alcohol and stuff, you know, that it's like, I mean, I think that it's kind of weird that it seems like he was almost predisposed for some of this shit, and it was like, you know.
Yeah, like,
I don't understand how it would turn him into a gambler and gay sex addict.
That's
so. But at the same time, I don't know.
I mean, but definitely like lowering your inhibitions and stuff. Sure,
yeah.
Or your impulse control or whatever.
Yeah. And so the last thing that I kind of wanted to mention about this was they actually talked about acetaminophen or like Tylenol and how it had been linked with people basically showing like less empathy for others and like just all of this stuff. Cause I mean, obviously Tylenol is like,
you don't even think of it as being a medicine.
Yeah, literally. Yeah. You're completely right. And, I mean, if this shit is actually doing this, you know, I mean, I hope that they go into this and look at some more, you know, actually like controlled studies and stuff like that. But I mean, if this is actually like legit correlation or causation or whatever, I mean, fuck, man, that's pretty mind blowing in my opinion.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'll definitely make sure to post this article in show notes and stuff.
Yeah.
Because there was a lot to unpack in this, and I didn't want to get into the nitty gritty because I don't know how interested everyone would be in it. So, but it was some pretty gnarly stuff that they were talking about. Just like testing the drugs in animals and stuff, and how it was just like making mammals just kooky.
Yeah.
So, but anyway,
wow.
Do you have anything to go out from there? Or?
I don't know, man. That's crazy. There's so many like.
What's up?
There's so many links in that story to case stories and stuff, and I'm like, I want to read all these.
No, I know, because it was. I mean, it was. This shit exists. It's just one of these things that most of the time, unless you unpack the package insert of the meds that you're taking and stuff, and actually get down into the nitty gritty of it, I mean, like they normally list this shit, but it's just like, oh, if it's under like 10% of the population that is affected like that, they don't really even like, you know, it's like a side note kind of thing.
Yeah,
but 10% is pretty fucking
it's a lot.
Number,
it's quite a bit.
You know? But I guess kind of sticking on the prescription drug train.
Yeah.
I was going to talk about the California thing.
Okay, yeah.
California was looking to launch its own generic prescription drug label. I'm not sure how I feel about this. I couldn't come up with anything right off the bat that it's like, oh, you know, is there like a nefarious reason behind this?
Probably.
Well, no, and that's the thing is because I mean, like, dude, you know, it's one of those like, yes, I think that it would potentially be good because it's going to create more competition, you know, and a lot of when you look at generic medications, there's like 3 fucking like generic companies that produce everything, you know. So I mean, like having a little more competition, you know, whatever, that would be cool if it actually did drive the price down on meds. But it makes me wonder if there's not just something lurking in the shadows that it's like, fuck, man, come on, you know. But yeah, it was just pretty interesting, and I think that we were talking about a little bit before the show about how people were cracking down on insulin and trying to put price ceilings and stuff like that.
Yeah. And
I think that even I want to say that one of my buddies that is a pharmacist for Walmart said that Walmart actually has like their brand insulin kind of thing. Oh. That it's like I forgot how much it was, but it was like $50 a month or something versus like whatever $2,000 for name brand
Yeah.
shit, you know,
Yeah.
or pins. So, but just pretty crazy shit. So hopefully something good will come of it. I don't know.
I've got a crazy story.
What's up?
A little bit about gay sex to get back to
that. All right. I'm interested.
Britain has unmasked a man named Renard Sanaga, who could be the most prolific rapist in history.
Holy shit.
I really hate the word prolific for monsters who have a high number of victims, because, like, something about the word prolific sounds honorable.
Yes.
And, like, being the best at being the worst is not honorable.
Yeah. And by any fucking stretch.
So police say that this guy had at least 190 victims.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
What kind of time period did they mention that?
Well, I'll get into all that.
Okay.
So the jury found him guilty of luring 48 men from nightclubs into his flat where he drugged and assaulted them. So he came to the UK from Indonesia in 2007 on a student visa, and then his convictions only related to crimes he committed from January of 15 to June of 17. Mm-hmm. But police said he began offending long before then. So 48 men he was convicted of in 2.5 years.
Jesus, man.
Wow.
He apparently just really liked to prey on straight men, and I really hate that, because that, like, boosts people's homophobia. You know, people who say that bullshit that's like, I'm fine with dudes being gay as long as they don't hit on me. Like, no, shut up. Like, this so rarely happens. This is not a thing, you know?
Yeah, for
This
sure.
guy is an insane person.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Some of his friends say they heard him describe his enjoyment of turning straight men, and he often boasted about his sexual activities. The judge said, "It's almost beyond belief that someone who could profess some Christian faith could at the same time have been committing such wicked and evil crimes." Oh, Judge, you poor naive person.
Yeah, I know, right? My God, he should start listening to the podcast. Holy hell.
So this dude waited for men to leave bars, and then he offered to let them come drink more at his flat. And then he would drug them, and then while they were unconscious, he would assault them, and usually they didn't even have memories of the assaults.
I don't... So, okay... I don't know if I've ever...
Gone home with a stranger to hang out? Like,
yeah, it's like...
That seems weird.
That seems really... Like, it would make more sense to me if he was picking up women. Kind of thing, or like
even or then, like he's bringing straight guys home, like just, hey, do you want to hang out and keep drinking? And these straight guys are like, sure, man, yeah.
This
like,
sounds like a good idea. Like what?
But I think a lot of men have a lot less worry about stuff like that because they don't think like this could potentially be me walking into being raped or murdered or whatever, and women are generally more cautious about that, you know, in that situation. So I'm thinking maybe a lot of guys are just drunk and they're like, oh, you live right around the corner? That's cool. Yeah, we'll smoke some weed or whatever. Sure. I don't know. Maybe.
Man.
But also, he was pretty, like...
I guess I'm just hanging out at the wrong bars.
Right? He was also pretty, like, well-known and well-liked and stuff in the gay community. So, like, maybe people just assumed this guy was safe and that they, like... had friends who knew him and stuff, so why not?
That shit.
I could see leaving a bar with like a friend of a friend.
Oh yeah,
to go hang out. Like
I could do.
I wouldn't question that as much. So if that was the case, like
and that's a good point.
I don't know. They didn't really get into all that, but there's some quotes from some texts with his friends where they were all laughing about it. Like they knew that this guy was doing this. Yeah, and. All I can think is maybe the friends were under the impression that he was actually turning straight men and, like, had their consent. Yeah. But it sounded like his friends knew. Yeah. So, he was caught in June 2017 when a victim awoke during an assault, fought off this douchebag, and called the cops. Officers seized his phone and reportedly found hundreds of hours of footage of him assaulting unconscious men. Detectives say they haven't been able to identify 70 of his victims who were filmed and are urging anyone who believes they could have been abused to come forward. I bet they won't get many people because men are going to be ashamed. Yeah. You know?
Well, I mean, like anybody.
Anyone would, sure.
Honestly,
but I mean,
yeah, but men more so.
Yeah, sure. But
and
he denied the charges, saying that the sexual activity was all consensual and the men agreed to being filmed while pretending to be asleep. That sounds like some defense on like Law and Order.
No shit.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, obviously it didn't work for him.
somebody
thankfully.
that's representing themselves in the court of law.
Your
That's my
Honor,
defense.
these men said I could rape them.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. The fuck, man. That is insane.
Weird case.
Yeah,
Weird
no
case.
shit.
I think he's only... I didn't write it down, but I think he's only like 36 or something.
Oh my
Dang.
god.
Like he's well, if he came here in 07 and he was 24 then, yeah, he's probably 37 or so now, maybe.
Yeah. 36, 37.
Something like that. Yeah.
Mm.
God.
Jesus,
God.
dude. That's insane.
So that's dark.
Yeah. I hate to transition into this, but it's
Oh,
actually
boy.
pretty good. Well, not.
Well,
So basically what happened is I was doing my continued education stuff for pharmacy school.
yeah.
Or pharmacy, to keep my license. What the, I don't know.
Are
Who
you
the
back
fuck
in
am
school?
I?
Can
Yeah, I
you
know,
tell me
right?
something?
I know. And one of the things that popped up that I could get credit for was it was called, Transgender Healthcare, a review of pharmacotherapy in gender transition and conversion of cultural health disparity, LGBTQ cultural competency. And this has been a really fascinating thing to me.
Yeah.
Just how all of this, the transgender movement kind of stuff, for lack of a better term, just how it's gained, not notoriety,
no,
but
but
it's
so much more attention.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, thank you,
I think it's
yeah.
more mainstream than it used to be by far.
Yes, yeah, exactly. And something that was really interesting in this this continued education thing was at the very beginning they have a bunch of definitions to go through to let you know, like what while you're going through this shit, this is what we're talking about,
Sure.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I started going through some of the definitions, and I mean, like gender dysphoria, I understood that, you know, it was pretty straightforward. And then they get into stuff that like, so I'm just gonna read this verbatim because I don't want to like misspeak or anything.
Yeah.
But like, okay, like I understood. Well, actually, I was confused originally about what a transgender man or transgender woman kind of thing, because it was like, okay. Allie is like,
no,
about
I'm
to
sorry.
laugh at
I'm
me.
laughing because Jesse just replied to our group chat because Megan told him that we were fussing about the toothpaste. And then he just said, Allie is such a nerd. She bought something to push the toothpaste.
I know.
Dude, I'm proud of it. I talk about
and I'm not
it.
gonna lie.
You're gonna get it.
Send me
I'm
that link.
gonna. I'm sorry. Please say like the last like sentence worth of what you said.
No,
and I'm
you're
turning
good.
my phone over and not looking at it
You're
anymore.
good. No, basically, I started going through these definitions, and I was like, oh, I think I was confused as to, okay, for instance, a transgender man
Right.
is a woman
Who is now a man.
who is now
Right.
identifying as a man,
Right.
kind of thing.
Right.
And I, which it makes sense, but the opposite also kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
That it's like, okay,
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah.
So, but then they get into stuff in this article, or this, education stuff, like the term genderqueer.
Right.
And they said sometimes, and this is reading verbatim, I think there's a typo in here because it kind of doesn't make sense, but at the same time, it might just not make sense to me. Sometimes used to by gender non-conforming people who do not identify as transgender. So
maybe they're saying these are people who don't identify as a certain gender, but also like never really did. Like you don't.
So I think that the whole gender non-conforming
Yeah.
is, which I can.
Yeah.
Funny story. I've got that definition in front of me too, according to this stuff.
Yeah.
So gender non-conforming, person whose gender identity, role, or expression differs from the cultural norms prescribed for people of a particular sex.
Okay.
So that makes sense. I'm totally, I guess, So you don't conform to what the cultural norms are of the gender that you, help me out here,
were assigned at birth.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm sorry if we're losing listeners left and right.
No, I think.
But this shit is just like, it's kind of fascinating because 5 years ago, I feel like this wouldn't have been on anybody's radar.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, not that that's a good or bad thing. It's kind of a fact. And so it was just, I don't know. It was just kind of interesting.
Oh, okay.
What's up?
Okay. So Merriam-Webster's definition of it.
Of what?
Of gender nonconforming.
Okay.
Is exhibiting behavior. God, no, I don't want to block. I don't want to turn my ad blocker off right this second. Hang on. Exhibiting behavioral, cultural, or psychological traits that do not correspond with the traits typically associated with one's sex. Mm-hmm. So you have a gender expression that does not conform to gender norms, it says. So
the gender queer stuff is basically you're not necessarily transgender, but you're non-conforming to the cultural norms of the gender that you were assigned at birth.
I think so.
Kind of?
I think so.
Damn.
That is so confusing.
That's hard. It's hard.
Yeah. And I mean, like, this is the thing is, like, I completely get the fact that, like, the whole gender dysphoria stuff and people,
sure.
I've read stuff that is just, like, heart-wrenching. That people feel like they don't belong in their own body and they're not comfortable with their, you know.
Right.
I mean, it's terrible.
Right.
But I also, putting the shoe on the other foot, I feel like we're kind of overcomplicating this, maybe.
I mean, I think a lot of it might come down to, like, as a society, we're just not so much falling into those gender roles anymore, which I think is a positive thing.
Yeah, well, I mean, hell, dude, you're
talking to
somebody
dad.
that's a stay-at-home dad
sure.
that does all the cooking, cleaning.
Which stay-at-home dads have been a thing for a long time, but like in the 80s, you would have got a lot more hell for it.
Oh yeah,
than
totally.
Now in the 20s,
yeah, in the 20s,
you know,
in the roaring 2020s, man. But yeah, so I just kind of wanted to mention some of that stuff. Oh, and I also looked up because I said. I think I used the word transvestite on a previous, and you were like, I don't think that's, so apparently
you didn't mean any harm,
no,
but that's not what we're saying anymore.
Yeah, so I actually looked up the etymology of transvestite, which I thought this was kind of interesting. Sorry, putting on my nerd hat. My word nerd hat.
I love etymology, dude.
But, so vestite apparently, comes from like a Latin word meaning I dress.
Okay.
And so transvestite kind of thing. It's like, I dress not like whatever,
right.
You know,
and that's different than complete, like, a drag queen is not necessarily transgender.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so apparently the more PC term these days is crossdresser.
Okay.
Just crossdresser kind of thing. Or at least according to my internet sleuthing.
No, that sounds right. Yeah.
But anyway, I just kind of wanted to mention that because it was, I don't know, it was just kind of an interesting, it was, I was apparently somewhat misinformed or confused, and I don't know if I feel like this was almost like a step forward, 2 steps back, because
now you're more confused.
Now I'm a little bit more confused.
But you're interested, you want to know more.
Yeah, exactly. It's
just so hard, and then you get into all these, like, there are so many unique cases, and I'm like, you can't even just put categories up and be like, oh, this person is a trans man, but they're also gender nonconforming, and you're like, wait, but I thought, but you.
So wait,
you know, like I don't
exactly. It's just like there's so many forks in the road down that path that it's like
just another thing that's not necessarily black and white.
yeah. No, you're totally right. Oh. But anyway,
when did that become a word?
What?
Genderqueer.
Did
you realize it was one word too?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Well, I mean, I realized it because I was reading.
I've seen it mentioned a few times.
I just realized I started looking it up because then I was wondering what's the difference between that and non-binary.
Oh, yeah.
Oh God.
No,
yeah.
see, I don't know.
Let me
Sorry.
see if they. Let me see if they had non-binary as a definition real quick.
Here we go. Genderqueer versus non-binary.
Okay.
Genderqueer means non-normative or queer gender. You
What?
can't define it with...
Using the word.
Yeah.
While non-binary means gender that falls outside the gender binary model.
Okay.
They're extremely similar.
And then you have
So-
pangender. There's too many
There's a lot.
things.
Yeah.
I
Well,
can't.
see, but that's
It's
and
just
I mean
so
not that
confusing.
I. So obviously, I don't want to offend. Those are not my
Sure.
intentions. And no, I'm not going to hit you with the. I'm sorry that what I said
Yeah.
offended you. No. But it's just one of these things that I feel like everybody's just trying to be unique, maybe. And so, which I mean, yes, there are unique cases, but it's like, dude, everybody is like 99% the same, kind of in regards to genetic makeup. Sorry.
Well...
And so it I guess it was one of these things that I'm just like, I don't know. I'm wondering what's the end game, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Not
I
to
guess
just
it
cut
just
to
comes
the chase,
to
but-
like trying to express yourself in the best way. You
Gotcha.
know, like because you hate to be grouped into a group of people and be like, I'm not in any way like that group of people. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
So I don't know. I found a really good article on Vice. I'll throw this on our Facebook page. This
Sure.
sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's the difference between non-binary, genderqueer, and gender nonconforming.
Yeah.
And it looks like a pretty good breakdown.
Awesome. Cool.
Cool,
Well,
cool,
then keep a lookout on the Facebook group Tether Radio After Dark. Allie's gonna get that shit posted post haste.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was kind of all I had with the transgender stuff. It's just it's fascinating to me to. I just like to learn shit in general,
Yeah.
and be informed.
Yeah.
And so when this stuff is talked about, I just wanted to know what the hell people were talking about.
Yeah,
So I wanted to
sure.
be in the know. So I have a kind of a quick one, getting into a little bit of tech.
Okay.
This, if this actually comes to fruition, is going to be a game changer for technology as a whole.
Yeah.
I pulled this one from Engadget. New lithium sulfur battery could let phones last 5 days between charges.
Oh, my phone, bless its heart. My phone basically runs on 2 AA's that are only half charged. Like, it's not good. It is an old... Oh my god, it's like 4 years old or something.
Dude.
Like it's time. It's time.
I know. Honestly, I'm just putting it off. I don't know what they're up to on the iPhones, but I have an iPhone 8, I believe.
Mine's a 6.
Oh shit, really?
Dang.
Is it like a 6?
It's a 6. It's a 6S plus. So it's like they like released the S line like a little bit after the
So
6s.
it's the bigger screen. And
Yeah, but it's old still.
Wow. Okay. No, because I mean, honestly, my phone still works fine,
yeah.
but like, I don't know how I somehow have a small fracture in the thumb whatever
Home button.
reader thing.
Yeah.
So it won't let me use it anymore, and I have to use the accessibility like home button that you can move around. And Megan's like making fun. She's like, "Where the fuck is your home button? It's over there now. What the fuck?" Anyway, So lithium sulfur batteries. They were talking about in this article, how they would be able to run a smartphone for 5 days, that's cool.
That's
whatever. Wild. But that's not really the game changer.
Okay.
They said once they are able to, basically move this up to a larger battery pack for a car, they would theoretically be able to drive an electric vehicle more than 621 miles.
That's neat.
That shit is like...
That's a game changer.
Yeah, because like, I think as of right now, like, I think Tesla pretty much has the best like battery tech right now.
Probably.
And I think theirs is like maybe like a max of like 300 miles or 250, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, dude, you're talking about a full tank of gas for Megan and I think we probably get around like 425 miles,
right.
something like that,
right.
you know? But like, dude, 621 miles. That is just fucking like insane.
Yeah.
But, and the other thing is it's supposed to be, considerably lower cost than current, battery tech. And then it's also supposed to have a reduced environmental impact, which, I mean, shit, dude, you proved that, man. And God, you'll be writing your own paychecks kind of thing, selling this shit.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I thought that was kind of a cool little mention. They're trying to basically roll out some, test, stuff in Australia later in 2020.
Yeah.
So, I kind of want to keep my ear to the ground on this one.
Yeah.
'Cause, I mean, shit, dude, this is really cool, but then at the same time, I fell down the comments section and somebody's like, yeah, this is like really good for the consumer, but if we have batteries that are working for longer and better, it's not really good for the people selling the fucking devices using the batteries or whatever.
What?
And they were like, well, I mean, hell, if you have to replace your phone less often, then...
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you know it's all about that bottom line.
I know it. Oh, man, I want to talk about these bulletproof hoodies.
Let's do it.
So, the future's here. It's fucking dark. I saw a tweet get retweeted from a couple people I followed the other day. The original person is at Socialist Dog Mom on Twitter.
So I was trying to like find the bulletproof hoodie shit, and I ended up just looking through the Socialist Dog Mom stuff, and I was like, I can't find it.
I've not looked through their stuff. I don't know if they're any fun, but well, so the brand's called Wonder Hoodie. Mm-hmm. When I went to Google this the other day to find it and write out my notes about it, Luke O'Neill, that I love so much, had got a hold of it. Like. This is so on brand for him because this is.
So you mentioned Luke. You mentioned Luke O'Neill a decent bit.
He's a huge, like really good writer. He's on Twitter as Luke O'Neill 47, and he writes an email newsletter. And I just finally like subscribed to like the pay version last night because he's out here writing stuff like, and you know, really busting his ass to write good content. Yeah. And it's like, he rambles and he doesn't use much punctuation. And it's totally, like, he's smart, but it's a style choice. But sometimes I'm like, whew, take a breath. Like, I need some commas.
Does he have stuff on Medium?
Probably.
God,
he's done stuff for, like, he's in Boston. He's done stuff for, like, some of the, like, Boston Globe and stuff. Okay. But gotcha. He's doing a talk, tomorrow, the 13th, at the Strand bookstore in New York City, and it's sold out, and like it's a big
rock and roll.
So it's real cool. But he's just, man, he's a really good person to follow. Like he basically talks about what a terrible dystopia we live in.
Okay.
Yeah. So this bulletproof hoodie. When I saw this, I really wanted the like description screenshots to be photoshopped, but they are not. Yeah. They're basically the only result that comes up when you Google bulletproof hoodie, and also my FBI agent that watches what I Google is probably like, what are you doing now? Yeah. It's $450 for a kid size, and I think it was $600 for an adult size, and they brag a ton about their stuff being affordable compared to other bulletproof clothing out on the market.
So, and like, what kind of a fucking market is there for bulletproof clothing for civilians?
Right? That's like, there's basically not. Like, other than them, bulletproof stuff is like military people or like apocalypse doomsday preppers or whatever, you know? Like, so the tweet that I saw was a couple screenshots from the seller's site. Mm-hmm. They have a lifetime warranty. This is a quote. Yes. If you get shot, God forbid, with our hoodies on, we'll send you a replacement hoodie free of charge. Just include the police report or news clip. Come the fuck on.
That's amazing.
And for every 10 they sell, they donate one to a public school teacher. Like, cool, that's a noble thing, but also that is harrowing.
What?
They're just promoting...
Yeah, right? I mean,
and you can trade up for a bigger size as your kid grows, but there's a surcharge and you pay shipping.
I mean,
What?
This is just...
Where is this being sold?
Well, I think
online, but I mean, it's basically just marketed to, like... A lot of schools don't let kids wear hoodies anymore.
Oh, really?
Really?
That's a pretty big thing, yeah.
Huh. Shows what we know.
Yeah, I know.
And there's a whole thing about that being racially motivated because, like, black kids wear hoodies more and it's looked down on and stuff. And I'm like, oh, buddy.
God.
Jeez.
I have plenty of white friends that, like, live in hoodies.
I live in a hoodie, whatever.
So,
yeah.
Yeah.
But, man, it's just...
It's just fucking dark, dude.
We live in a dystopia.
I don't feel like we're really addressing the problem as much as the symptoms. It's like, dude.
I was really hoping they'd have more transparency on their site about like what they do with their profits, like if they donate it to like gun control or something.
Yeah.
But like they didn't really have anything. They had a little bit about their founder who just decided that like she didn't feel safe walking around in her own neighborhood because she might get shot, so she started designing bulletproof hoodies, and I'm like, what?
I wonder if she's taking any statins.
Nice.
Man, it's just, it's awful.
Dude, that is just... Well, I'm trying to figure out, like, what this founder... I don't understand.
It was pretty bare bones. I'm like,
really?
I want more. Tell me more.
Because it's just like, so I've got this great idea.
Yeah.
Why don't we put Kevlar vests on students?
Yeah.
It's like, wait, what? No.
And people were like bragging about how normal they look. And one person in the reviews was like, what they say? They were like, I got through TSA. Like, I didn't even get questioned or anything. And I wore it for 2 days before my friend even noticed anything. I'm like, I'm also not going to look at my friend's hoodie and be like, is that bulletproof, yo?
Yeah, seriously.
Why would I ever, what?
Oh my, that's just bizarre, dude.
Holy
that's
crap.
just super fucking bizarre.
Weird times.
Yeah, very fucking
You want to talk about that hotel?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so I was reading some local news the other day, and I saw an article about somebody suing a hotel here because a child drowned there. Mm. And I was like, it seems like it might be kind of a stretch to sue the hotel.
Yeah.
So I click on it, and I go down this whole fucking rabbit hole. And just as a warning, if you have any friends that are coming to stay in Knoxville, please tell them not to stay at that sketchy place on Cedar Bluff near I-40 that's behind the Cookout and the Starbucks.
Oh my god.
Because the best I can tell, it's still open. It used to be called Equality Inn, and now it's Quest.
Yeah.
I'm
You know
yes,
where it's at. It's like set back a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's just something about it's weird.
Yeah.
Turns out it's because they kill children. So there was a 3-year-old that drowned in February of 2019 who was unattended in the indoor pool with his 6-year-old brother, 5-year-old cousin, and a 5-year-old friend. And in their lawsuit, the family claims that the hotel told them and the public that the hotel's water park area was safe. I mean, what constitutes a pool being safe for 5, 6, and 3-year-olds?
Well, so I feel
what
like
expectation can you have?
Yeah, I mean... And I think that now I'm, so we were talking about it a little bit before the podcast that apparently I was annoying Megan with my
Well,
take
we
on
had a
this.
little bit of texting about this, and like you and I were texting, and then you were telling Megan about it out loud, and so Megan started a group of the 3 of us so we could all talk about it.
Yeah.
But man, like, and I don't want to victim blame, and I feel terrible for these families, and that's awful, and I do hate that, but like, at what point aren't you supposed to look at this pool area and judge it for yourself before you let your 3-year-old be there without supervision?
And I mean, like, my parents let my brother and I do a pretty good deal of shit at young ages, kind of thing. But like,
not that young.
What, 3, 5, 6? You
and
said,
5,
right?
2 5-year-olds and a 6-year-old.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
I mean, dude,
that's so young.
So 6, roughly kindergarten, right?
Yeah.
The oldest kid. I mean, like, dude,
that's so young.
My parents 100% would not have let me go to a pool or by myself or whatever, unsupervised kind of thing. And I feel like the vast majority, and I don't know if this is the case or not, but a lot of these places have it posted.
They have a sign that says "No lifeguard on duty. Swim at your own risk." Something like that.
Or like children under the age of like 12 or 13 have to be have supervision or something like that. And so I mean, like, But for that many kids to like what
crazy.
the fuck?
Well,
I think that's what got me started looking at it, was because you made that statement about, well, they had to have signs up about no lifeguard on duty. I was like, well, maybe they didn't, and try and play devil's advocate. So then Daniel and I started getting into it. But so then I went and started because I just wanted to see what the pool area looked like, because the internet, it's gonna have pictures of
they've got a pool and they've
like.
also got like a water park.
Yeah,
but
that
there's
looks
nothing
sketchy.
There's nothing dividing the two, and the water park is very like glorified sprinklers and slides.
Yeah.
But there's a pool like a few feet away, and there's no like division between them.
There's there's a pool and a jacuzzi. And then that water park. But even like a 3-year-old in that water park, unsupervised or supervised by like 5-year-olds, could possibly drown in that if they got stuck the wrong way.
But I just can't. I can't imagine like letting my kid out of my sight basically at that age.
No.
Like,
Well, surely once you got there and saw it, you'd be like, oh, hell no.
Right?
You're not going to be out there by yourself. Or with like
but
your
then
little
again,
5-year-old brother.
So then again, when we were pregnant,
were we pregnant?
We were pregnant. Nice,
Talking about
Ellie.
we.
Wait a second. I thought that was a common term.
No.
Okay. When I was pregnant with an idea. No, I'm just kidding. When Megan was pregnant with Finn.
Yes.
We both decided to pick a book and read it, to help try to prepare ourselves for having a kid.
Yeah.
And dude, there was a book that it was called like, Dude, You're Having a Kid or something like that I got it like, Megan got it for me at like
it's supposed to be
McKay's
like
or something.
funny.
Yeah.
But it really just pissed you off.
It like supremely offended me.
Really?
Dude,
Do you still have it?
I don't know. I might.
No, I think we gave it to
This book sucks. You want to read it?
Yeah. No, dude, because it
I
was
think
like
it
one
was
of these
just
things
so
that it's
simple-minded.
Yeah, it was like I felt like it was patronizing.
Oh,
me.
sure,
Like,
sure.
But then again, dude, they have to.
Some people need that.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like,
Even some
you have
of the,
to. You have to be. Or some parents have to be fucking told.
Yeah.
Don't leave your kid unattended under the age of
At a
unattended
pool.
at bath time.
Yeah.
Or something. It's
Yeah.
like, dude, kids drown in fucking toilets.
Yeah.
You know, it's like.
Yeah.
And it was insane. Like it was. Yeah. Anyway.
Common sense ain't common.
Yeah. No shit. Exactly. And so then, basically, coming full circle back to the article you were talking about, apparently these parents are just fucking idiots.
Well,
you know?
I don't know. They did have some, like, pretty black and white sounding concerns, like, no lifeguard on duty, no supervision of the pool by the hotel, and the property failed to provide proper safety equipment. So they had an emergency phone, but it didn't work. And it was located on a shelf with towels and not readily identifiable. And there were no first aid kits or automatic external defibrillators.
I mean, this just sounds like a fucking roach hotel that needs to be shut down.
Dude.
Yeah.
Period.
There were some bad pictures on Yelp of, like, there being black mold and stuff. Did you see all that?
Oh, no, because no.
It was pretty gross.
And, like, the pool's in, like, the center of the hotel.
Yeah,
and
like,
then
the rooms
like,
all face the pool.
Yeah.
No fucking thank you. That
and
is a
someone
hellscape.
took a picture from, like, the second floor looking at the pool. And I was like... And
Good
that said
supervision of your
something
kid.
about, like, their kid in
Yeah.
the pool. And I'm like...
Yeah.
If your kid was drowning, you wouldn't be able to get down there
Nope.
in time.
In time,
Because
yeah.
you're
Nope.
sitting on a balcony looking at it.
I mean,
dummy.
dude, it's just... But I do have to say, I'm amazed on a daily basis when I see other people with kids.
Dude.
That it's like, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
I'm amazed that people keep children alive at the rate that they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Which, when we were, like, really nervous about having Finn or whatever...
yeah.
Oh my god, like... I start thinking about it and I'm like, wait a second. Like,
Yeah.
fucking...
You're like, I know complete
people-
morons with children.
And their kids survived.
Yeah.
So. But,
That just makes me think of when we brought Finn home.
yeah.
We should have gotten an insert for the...
You're supposed to have, like, an infant insert in the car seat.
Yeah.
To make it fit.
Well, you don't
properly.
have to, but we probably
Yeah.
should have.
Yeah.
We should have bought one just in case.
Yeah.
Because I'm little, and you're not exactly, like...
Yeah, I'm not a
whatever.
towering
So Finn
person
was,
by
like,
any stretch.
6 pounds.
Sure.
Yeah.
just a little
fit
bit
in a flippin' car seat.
Yeah.
But this is bad radio, but we'll show you a picture of him in it, and it's just like, oh my god, how did we survive with Finn? Because if we'd gotten hit by a car, that would have been bad.
Dude, there's no way you would have stayed in the seat.
Oh my god.
Like, yeah.
And that, because I sent my mom a picture, I was like, guess we should have bought an insert.
Just like, oh my god, man. Absolutely insane.
This same hotel, also, they really buried the lead, and now we did too, how we discussed this, but in 2015, a 4-year-old boy drowned, and in 2017, a 7-year-old boy drowned. And another child nearly drowned in 2016, but lived. How is this place still open?
No shit.
Well, and didn't those families try to sue too?
One of them did. So the family of the 7-year-old sued the hotel owners because they were aware that children were playing in the area without supervision, and they knew or reasonably should have known that the water-themed playground and swimming pool were unreasonably dangerous for use by children without the supervision of an adult or an on-duty lifeguard. So it said that the lawsuit said that they failed to reasonably and properly restrict access to the water-themed playground and school swimming pool by children, and that they failed to have an on-duty lifeguard.
Dude, honestly, this sounds like one of those places that would not have the proper signage.
Sure,
and shit.
sure.
I mean, if that's their case, for the previous drownings and stuff, it's like, get your shit together.
Also,
or fucking shut down.
I don't know how people are not just brigading their reviews on Yelp and stuff and being like, hey, 3 and almost a 4th child have died here in 4 years. Please don't stay here.
Yeah.
Like,
God,
what?
Absolutely
and
crazy.
why would you stay at a water park hotel in Knoxville? Like,
right.
Like, no.
So, growing up, I always wondered, I was like, about like Dollywood or whatever, and I'm like, who the fuck is going to travel across the country?
A lot of people, man.
A fuck ton of people.
Yeah.
Like, but then, honestly, now that I've had like a reprieve from, because we used to go to Dollywood all the fucking time as kids, and it was just like, since it's like the Smoky Mountains. Since they're at your back door, you take them for granted.
It's like people that grow up at the beach, and they're like, why does everybody come to the beach? And you're like, 'cause the beach!
Yes, exactly. I just want to put my toes in the sand.
Yeah, that's people with mountains. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, but yeah, man, it's just like, it's crazy. I forgot where the fuck I was going with the Dollywood shout out, but
the weird people coming to a water park hotel.
Which, I mean, I'm assuming that's just one of these things that it's like, hey, we got to stay in Knoxville for whatever reason, and we have kids, so might as well try to make it fun for them.
I mean, we're gonna be staying at a hotel anyway. Hey, cool, this place has an indoor pool and a water park. Our 11-year-old twins will like that, and it'll wear them out and they'll sleep good.
Yes,
exactly. Maybe, but like, I wouldn't consider that like a destination. Maybe like a stop on a road trip.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, I've got one last thing. That's another. This is just so fucking off the wall. It's just another weird lawsuit. So this guy named Cade Mays, he plays in plays for the University of Georgia now. He plays football. Yeah. His dad is suing Georgia. He says his pinky was severed at a recruiting event. So the dad's pinky was severed during a 2017 recruiting trip. So, like, I saw this on the Knox News website, and it was kind of about, like, the kid putting in for a transfer, and, like, it was just about, like, red tape in football.
Yeah.
But the lawsuit part of this is fun. Court documents obtained by Knox News state that Kevin Mays, this is the dad, Kevin Mays' finger, quote, shot across the floor after it was severed before it was retrieved by an assistant coach and put on ice. The kid's trying to get a waiver so he can transfer sooner than having to wait, and it's pretty obvious he's not going to have a good time staying at Georgia when his dad's suing the pants off everyone associated with Georgia.
Oh my, well, so...
Okay, so...
Yeah, please, my interest is piqued.
So the dad and the dad's wife, Melinda, attended a recruiting dinner with their son and other prospects in December of 2017 at the club level inside Georgia's Sanford Stadium. The way this article describes what happens is that the dad was in... I shouldn't be laughing. This is bad and it's traumatic, and I am sorry.
Yeah.
But it's also really weird.
No one died, so we're good.
Yeah, just your pinky, man.
Just your pinky.
So the dad was in his assigned seat in front of a support column, and when he got up from his chair, the column stopped the chair from moving backward, and the chair folded up, and his finger got caught in the chair's hinge and was cut off and shot across the damn room.
Oh my, that is fucking, what?
I got a little queasy writing that up last night.
No
I'm not gonna lie.
So,
I'm getting like the chills.
I know.
That hurts.
okay, so the gory part's done. The gory part's done. Now it's just funny. Or weird. Okay, kind of funny. The offensive line coach grabbed the finger up and put it on some ice. The finger picker upper is now the head coach at Arkansas.
Finger picker upper. I like that.
That was my writing.
Nice.
Not Knox News.
Yeah.
He went to the hospital, but his finger couldn't be attached. He had some skin grafts. He had some surgeries. He had a lot of pain.
Yeah.
The dad and the wife are seeking. Do you want to guess the money before I tell you?
Oh my god. $50,000.
$3.5 million in damages. I wish you guys.
What?
I wish your faces were on. Like, we need video for this.
Fuck.
Damages for medical expenses, pain and suffering, loss of labor, future lost income, loss of consortium, and punitive damages. I don't even.
What's he do? Does it say?
Oh, I don't remember.
He's a professional tea sipper.
I mean, it's his pinky. So...
I know. I was talking about this with some friends last night, and I was like, "Give me some bolt cutters. I'll cut my pinky off for $3.5 million."
My God, I'm willing to.
Oh, you can haggle. I'll go down.
Yeah, seriously.
Like, I could see the medical. I mean, not adding up to 3.5.
No.
Yeah.
But I mean, I could see suing for medical
And your trouble in a little bit.
I can see a little bit.
I don't even
past
know what
the
loss
cost,
of consortium is.
Yeah.
But not for employment. I mean,
Yeah.
Well,
what would you like?
I mean,
Deprivation of benefits of a family relationship due to injuries.
because your pinky's missing.
Wait a second. So,
What?
like his son,
Like your
his
family's
son's gonna
hate
disown
you.
him.
Yeah, because
So-
your pinky's gone.
In this context, the word consortium means the right of association and fellowship between two married people.
I'm
Like-
sorry, are you saying this hurts your sex life?
Yeah, like your wife's like
What?
gonna be like, "Oh my god, you don't have a pinky."
How am I supposed to get all hot and bothered without your pinky? It was
I'm
my
so
favorite
sorry.
attribute of you.
I cannot with this story.
Oh, so it just sounds like he's suing for everything he could
Yeah.
find. Like he just found a
Yeah.
checklist. It was like, I'm gonna sue for that. Gonna sue for this.
God, man.
They are suing the company that designed and manufactured the chair, the furniture dealership that assisted the university with the purchase of the chair, and 5 individuals that were not named. You're suing the furniture dealer? Come on, this was a freak accident. These chairs are not out here just like looking for fingers to chomp off.
Yeah,
Come on.
That is so fucking insane, dude.
like,
that's ridiculous.
what?
That is hilarious, though. Sorry for the loss of a pinky, but holy hell, dude. that
Also,
is-
I read this story and I was thinking the kid was who lost the pinky, and then I
Yeah.
reread it and realized it's his dad. Like, the kid's just put in for a transfer because his dad's suing everybody.
Yeah.
Jesus, dude.
Oh,
That's
man.
crazy.
So anyway, he might be playing for Tennessee next season. His
Oh,
name's
no
Cade Mays.
I was gonna say
He's from
he
Catholic.
actually-
He went to school at Knox Catholic. So
That
like,
sounds familiar.
he
Yeah, right?
he apparently committed to UT and then decommitted and then went to Georgia.
That
It was
sounds
a
really
whole
familiar.
yeah.
Yeah.
He was a big football star in high school. It said so.
Did they? Do they have what position he played?
By
chance? It's not that big of a
They
deal,
might
but-
have, but I didn't copy it down.
Gotcha.
What a story, man!
That is fucking outrageous, though.
What a time to be alive.
So I've got one thing to mention, and then I have a fun little thing.
Yeah.
Real quick, the mention thing, and then probably, unless you've got something burning, we'll probably wrap.
I think I'm pretty good.
Okay. A Japanese woman turned 117 years old and extended the world record for the oldest person on this planet.
That's crazy.
Dude, pretty fucking awesome. And so this is super short mention, or quick mention. Her name is Kane Tanaka. And so they had a birthday party for her, of course. And they gave her a big slice of her birthday cake. And she was quoted as saying, tasty. I want some more.
I love
And
that.
I was like, dude, that's just great.
Give
It's
her
just
what she
like-
wants. She is 117.
I cannot even imagine what it would feel like to live to like 90.
No.
Like,
And especially in the lifetime that she lived, think of just like the wars, the technology that has...
dude,
What?
both world wars, the fucking like...
The Great Depression.
The 1918 flu epidemic, which obviously that didn't really... That hadn't... Well...
She would have
Was
been like 15.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus, dude.
God.
Insane. But, alright. So, we started watching this movie, sorry, the hard pivot. We started watching this movie called, Brain Damage.
Okay.
And, the director, I think his name's, oh my god, his last name's Henenlotter. And, I want to say it's Frank. Anyway, he has very, very bizarre, I guess, tendencies for movies. This Brain Damage movie, it's a basically a shitty horror movie, which I'm a shitty horror movie connoisseur. And, started watching it, and then I was wondering what other films he had done.
Okay.
So I pulled a synopsis from one of his other films that was like basically the other one other than Brain Damage that that basically he's famous for, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Famous in quotation marks. So I'm going to read the
boy.
synopsis, and I would like you to title the movie.
Oh no! okay. I gotta
And then I'll
put
tell
my
you the
creative
actual-
hat on.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So it's a little bit of a blurb. In New Jersey, Jeffrey is a talented inventor in love with his bride-to-be, Elizabeth. During a barbecue to celebrate the birthday of Elizabeth's father, she activates a remote-controlled lawnmower that Jeffrey built for his father-in-law. However, she stays in front of the device and her body is cut into pieces. Jeffrey studies how to bring Elizabeth back to life and realizes that he will need body parts. He drives to New York to get the necessary parts from prostitutes, but his experiment loses control and he blows up several women with an exploding crack he had developed. Now he has the necessary parts to build his fiancée back, but when Elizabeth flees from his laboratory, Jeffrey has problems with the pimp Zorro that lost his girls.
I'm sorry? I feel like your boy had all the ideas and put them all into one movie.
I just want to know, when I buy a copy of this movie, are you in?
I feel like I have to watch it, right? I have to watch it.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
What do you think the title of this movie is?
Is it called This Candle Smells Like My Vagina?
That's very close. Very close.
I feel like it's gonna be like almost a whole sentence. Like it's not just gonna be like...
It's one word.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh.
And I'm not gonna lie, he killed it in the
Did he?
the
Okay,
titling.
okay. Because I really wanted it to be like just like Lawnmower Man or something. But
Yeah.
but I really, the more you went and the more he doesn't sound like the king of brevity. So I thought maybe the title might reflect that in
I
being
can see
12 words
that.
long.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't. It's got to be a verb. It's got to be an action. It's got to be like
Alright.
chopped or like snapped, or it's got to be more violent than those, though.
Okay.
Do you know it, Megan?
No.
Okay. Bisected.
Bisected.
Yeah.
The title of that film is Frankenhooker.
Oh, I didn't know that
You
one.
did know it. You did know it.
I just forgot because it was so ridiculous.
I was like,
Oh, instant
my
classic, honestly.
God, instant fucking
Also, I
classic.
told Jesse the other day, and I meant to tell you when we recorded last week, but you've got this DVD case back here, and sometimes I like glance over at it. And the other day I was trying to decide if it was in alpha order and like parts of it are. I don't know, but I ended up settling on a movie called Monstered.
I thought you were gonna see another one.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
it about a giant?
It is
poop?
It is a doo-doo monster.
Daniel's
a-
got some real
okay.
weird movies.
What did you think I was gonna see?
The one that starts with a D, Donkey Punch.
Oh Lord.
And for all the listeners out there, yes, it is exactly what you think it is.
Oh no.
So, but surprisingly enough, Donkey Punch does a pretty good job at creating like thriller like themes, I
Well,
guess.
when I
but-
told Jesse about Monster, he was like, "Oh yeah, yeah," and I was like, "No, no, do not act like this is some classic that I'm not aware of."
Yeah. No, it is definitely a piece of shit movie, both literally and
Yeah.
Your
God.
taste is eclectic, to say the least. Are you really getting a copy of Frankenhooker?
I'm 100% going to.
Great,
I'm either
great.
going to, if it's not going to be like cost prohibitive, to grab it off like Amazon
Sure,
or something.
yeah.
I'll
We
probably
have
see
to,
if
like,
one of my buddies can
Make
pick
a
it up.
drinking game of it or
Yeah,
something.
dude,
Oh,
it's gonna be
man.
a lot.
Oh, it's gonna be
Watching
just a
that one
mess.
yesterday. Oh my god.
Yeah, we didn't make it all the way through it either. So,
No.
but I'm glancing at the time, and we have arrived. So this has been episode 83
Yep.
of the Tether Radio podcast.
Nice.
Yeah, dude, we're closing in on 100, and I'm pretty fucking stoked.
Yeah.
we need to start doing a little
Ooh, you should do a live
Thinking
one for your
for-
100.
We should.
Yeah.
We
That's
what I- that's
should.
what
We
I'm
should do a
thinking.
live one before that,
yeah,
Oh yeah, test
and
it
just a
out.
test,
and
yeah,
and
test run.
definitely make 100 be live.
Yeah.
That'd be cool, man. That'd be super cool. So yeah. Let us know what you thought about the episode. Let us know your suggestions, criticisms. I'm always down for movie recommendations also. Obviously.
Preferably better than Monster or
And
Frankenhooker. What was the other one? Brain Damage. Okay.
Brain Damage,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
That one's a little bit more normal until you
No.
start watching the
When
movie.
you start watching it,
the
you're
title,
just like,
it stops
what?
being normal after the title. So.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But anyway, so if you want to send us anything, we are here and we are listening. Send it to tetherradio@gmail.com. That is tetherradio@gmail.com. We are on Twitter @tether_radio. We're also on Instagram @tether_radio. Facebook, Tether Radio, all one word, and we have the Facebook group, Tether Radio After Dark. We had some stuff posted last week in there. Allie's going to toss another article in there.
Yeah.
We're trying to get better about doing kind of overflow into the Facebook group. And dude, let us know what you think.
Yeah.
Post some stuff yourself. We will be active, I assure you.
Yes.
So yeah. This has been episode 83 of the Tether Radio podcast. I'm Daniel,
I'm Allie.
and we are thanking you for lending your ear for approximately 1.5 hours of your time. Thanks, guys. Have a great week, and we'll see you next week.